Gentlemen, there was a time when men did not debate their potential. They proved it. A time when civilization was not distracted, not scrolling, not waiting for permission, but being built. This was an era defined not by what was said, but by what was done. An age of raw ambition, where the horizon was not a limit, but a challenge. Men measured their worth in the sweat of their brow and the calluses on their hands, transforming the very earth beneath their feet. Electricity, industry, steel, energy, systems. None of these were accidents. They were the deliberate outcomes of focused will. They were forged by men who could command themselves under pressure, who understood that true strength is the ability to impose order on chaos, to see a structure where others saw only rubble. Nikola Tesla saw energy before the world knew how to use it. He thought in forces and frequencies long before they were understood. He worked in isolation, driven by purpose, not comfort. His mind was a laboratory, his laboratory a sanctuary. He wasn't seeking applause, he was chasing the fundamental currents of the universe, convinced he could harness them for the betterment of all. Thomas Edison took ideas and forced them into reality, not with inspiration, but with repetition, failure after failure, until invention became usable. He proved persistence matters more than brilliance. He famously tested thousands of filaments, not because he was a genius, but because he refused to be defeated. Each failure was not a setback, but a data point, a step closer to the solution. He embodied the relentless grind. Henry Ford mastered motion and scale. He didn't invent the automobile, he disciplined the process. He showed the world that systems multiply effort, and order creates abundance. He saw the factory not as a place of labor, but as a single, integrated machine. Every movement was optimized, every second accounted for, turning a luxury for the few into a necessity for the many. John D. Rockefeller understood flow. Energy meant nothing unless it could be delivered reliably. He built structure where chaos existed and turned logistics into power. He didn't just drill for oil, he mastered the entire chain, from the well to the refinery to the pipeline to the lamp in a home. He built an empire on the principle of seamless, uninterrupted delivery. Andrew Carnegie forged the backbone of civilization. Steel, strength beneath the surface. He understood that vision collapses without structure to carry it. He converted iron to steel, and steel into the skeletons of cities, the arteries of railroads, the sinews of a new world. And Napoleon Hill studied them all. Not their money, their minds. He documented the principles that allowed these men to carry responsibility without breaking. He sought the universal laws of achievement, the mental blueprint behind their physical empires. Different men, one shared trait. They commanded themselves first. Today, most men don't fail loudly. They fail quietly. They drift. They delay. They postpone responsibility and tell themselves tomorrow will fix what discipline avoided today. It's a slow, silent erosion of potential, a surrender not to a single great foe, but to 1,000 small comforts. This video exists to interrupt that drift, to sound an alarm that has been silent for too long. Modern men have more tools than any generation before them, yet fewer standards. Comfort is everywhere. Discipline is optional. Responsibility is negotiable. We are surrounded by an abundance of information, but a poverty of purpose. The path of least resistance has become a superhighway, paved with distractions and empty promises of fulfillment. And when responsibility disappears, strength follows it out the door. Not just physical strength, but the strength of will, the strength of conviction, the very resilience that defines a capable man. This is the inner fortitude required to face hardship without flinching, to choose the difficult right over the easy wrong. History doesn't reward potential. It never has. It is a ruthless accountant of deeds, not intentions. History rewards execution. Every civilization that rose did so because men were trained to carry weight, mental weight, physical weight, moral weight, without collapsing. They built bridges, they forged steel, they raised families, and they upheld laws not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. And every civilization that declined did so when comfort replaced discipline and entitlement replaced responsibility. This is not a political statement. It is a law of history, as immutable as gravity. The question is not whether this cycle exists, but where we stand within it, right now. The builders of the past did not wait for clarity. They built it. They did not wait to feel ready. They acted, then adjusted. They did not look for motivation. They relied on standards. That is the difference between builders and consumers. Consumers wait. Builders move. Consumers chase comfort. Builders accept discomfort as the price of progress. Strength is not aggression. Strength is stability under pressure. Strength is waking up when it's uncomfortable. Strength is doing what needs to be done without applause. Strength is repeating disciplined action long after the excitement is gone. This truth is not cultural. It is universal. As it is written in the Quran, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. This is the first law of transformation. No system changes a man from the outside. No external force, no political ideology, no windfall of fortune can sculpt the soul. Change begins internally, or it does not begin at all. It is a solitary act of will, a decision made in the quiet chambers of the heart. And as it is written in the Bible, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. Not emotional, not reactive, not impulsive, strong. This strength is not brute force, but the unyielding power of a disciplined mind. It is the capacity to remain centered amidst chaos, to hold a steady course when the world demands you swerve. And science confirms what history and faith have always shown. Repeated discipline rewires the brain. This isn't metaphor, it's neurobiology. Every deliberate action, every focused thought, carves new channels in the mind. The pathways of thought are like trails in a forest. The more they are walked, the clearer they become. Focus, practiced daily, becomes automatic. What a man does consistently becomes who he is. This is the mechanism of mastery. It is how an apprentice becomes a craftsman, how a student becomes a master. This is the great secret Napoleon Hill uncovered after interviewing over 500 of the world's most successful men. He was commissioned by Andrew Carnegie, the great industrialist, on a quest that would consume 2 decades of his life. He sought the common thread, the philosopher's stone of achievement, and he found it. Character is not wished for. It is trained. It is forged in the crucible of daily commitment through the relentless application of will. This is the work of the builder, the engineer of his own destiny. Rebuilding a man is not complicated, but it is demanding. It requires a definite chief aim and the burning desire to see it through. Without this, a man is merely driftwood on the ocean of life. With it, he becomes the captain of his soul. One clear purpose, daily discipline, physical training, skill development, moral restraint, no shortcuts, no noise, no spectators. Most men fail not because the path is hidden, but because it is repetitive. They want intensity without consistency, results without routine, identity without discipline. But identity is earned. A man becomes strong by doing strong things, especially when he doesn't feel like it. So, here is the execution. Wake up at a consistent time. Train your body every day. Work on one meaningful objective that compounds. Remove one comfort that weakens you. Review your actions nightly without lying to yourself. Then repeat. Relentlessly. This is not motivation. This is structure. Weak men seek comfort. Strong men build standards. The future does not need more opinions. It needs disciplined men. I rise and I build.